to another exciting episode of your favorite podcast, the Extraordinary Man Podcast. And I am your host, Phil Jones and Mike Jones. Have you guys know me personally, professionally, and by now you guys should know who this handsome gentleman is over here. The one who has coined the phrase, let's go. That's how he tell his kids, let's go to the store. That's how he tell his woman, never mind. That's how we do everything. We do everything around here. State your name.
What is going on, everybody? I am Midas. Make sure you put a king in front of that. Let's go.
See, you see how smooth that was? See how that is? Who not gonna follow that? Rakim would say, let's go. Who not gonna follow that?
Exactly.
Anyway, so you guys may see the title. And with the title, let me get my body language in order and stuff because I don't want to project how I feel onto the camera. I want you guys to know what's going on, how it's going on. So let me get right. Make sure it's evenly centered. All right. Am I handsome?
Extraordinary.
Extraordinarily handsome. Okay, I like that. So here's where we at, people. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. This can apply to a myriad of different situations in your life, but one of the biggest things in your life that's going to hold you down and hinder you in any light, any respect, any type of situation is settling. When you have allowed yourself to get placed into a pocket over said period of time, taking what I guess you would consider the safe bets or doing certain things that are utterly counterproductive to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in this life, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm at a crossroads to where when I look at my career, I look at my household, I look at almost every aspect of my life. And I am literally at a place to where I'm like, you know what? Something got to change. This ain't it. For somebody, my life is what they're striving to get. Don't get me wrong. I make good money. Statistically, I have a good job, work for the government. I'm not in bad shape. I don't have too many things that most people that I know would look at me and say, you blessed. What could you possibly be complaining about? My would be blessed based on your standards or mine.
It's a good question. And that's a good way to look at that. And a lot of people probably don't look at it that way either.
You see, the thing about it is that you have to know what you're capable of. You have to know who you are. And when you know who you are and you know what you are, you see the world from a different point of view. And that's really what it all boils down to with me is that I sit here and I look and I ask myself, how do I continue to fall into the pitfalls of the things that I fall into? Why do these things happen? Why are they consistently happening? Why are you unhappy with the outcome of your life up until this point? I mean, you did everything right, so to speak. But I'm going to tell y'all why I'm unhappy with it. There's a very simple reason why I'm unhappy with it. It's because of the fact that I know I can do better. I know I should be doing better. And I know the clock is ticking. Good evening. The clock is ticking. I don't have the luxury of time. I'm 37. One thing that gets under my skin is when people tell me, oh, you so young, you still a young buck, you still a... No, I'm not. I'm closer to 40 than I am to 20. My body is not doing the same thing it was doing in my 20s where I can just get up and work 2-3 jobs and this, that, and the third. And I feel like a lot of the way that I was taught and that many other people were taught, we were lied to so bad. Go enjoy yourself while you're young. Go see the world. Go do this, this, and this. When it really should have been use your good vital years to bust your behind, work and acquire everything that you need. So by the time you're in your 40s, you can chill. That you ain't got to wait until you in your 60s to retire. You can start planning for your retirement at 35 because you used 18 through 34 to put yourself in position. All the kicking it, all the chilling, all the drinking and hanging out, the late nights, all that time that I could have been spending doing things that would have been productive for me, I didn't do. Midas, you remember? You remember when you were getting ready to go to college? You remember I had retook the ACT.
Mm-hmm.
What did you tell me?
College is for everybody.
There was something else you told me. There was a very specific thing that you told me.
You got to remind me.
I was in the house, bro. You was getting ready. You was getting ready to leave. What did you tell me? What did you say to me?
Bro, we talk a lot.
You told me to apply and come with you.
I did, yeah. Yeah. You know what? Yes. I remember that argument. I remember that
argued
argument.
up and down, up and down,
Yeah,
up and down.
I do remember that argument, yeah.
And you told me right there in the house where Mama was sitting right there in the living room talking about something like, what you staying here for? How are you trying to fight for me to leave, but you won't leave?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that argument vividly.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, it's one of those things that it's still a head scratch in the back of my mind saying, like, why didn't I go? There was nothing that was there for me to stay. There was no legitimate reason for me to stay. And it took me years of playing with school. 2008, 2009, go to school, do XYZ, Kennedy King, Chicago State, this little brief stint here and there. Came to Florida. I had enrolled in 2012, I think 2017. If I showed you my transcript, it's disgusting. My transcript is disgusting. I didn't finally get serious about school until 2021. Didn't finally get serious, but like I got all these credits, but didn't finish nothing. And you sit there and you look at it and you say to yourself, like, well, I've been sitting around here working this job, bouncing from this situation, working 2-3 jobs, and you got a degree in limbo, and you won't even finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Got back in school, quickly cracked out my associates, got that out the way. Boom, that's finished. So I guess to some degree you say, hey man, you got an associate degree, it's cool. And then it's like, okay, cool. Now what about this BA? What about this business? What about this other stuff? What are you going to do with this? And it's like now you sit here and you look at it reflectively, and it's just like, dude, I'm almost 38 years old. And like I'll be trying to tell people about this timeline, like, yes, realistically, there's probably another 30 working years left before I would be quote unquote retirement age. Which means that I still got time to finish college, go for the highest degree possible, whatever the circumstances may be, and then live the last 26, 25, 24 years of my life at that high income capacity. But you know what that doesn't do? That doesn't determine how I feel about all the time wasted. Now there's a fight that you have internally about wanting to shut down because you go to work every day and you're unhappy every single day. And it's not necessarily because of what I do, but it's because of the fact that with the amount of money that I make, knowing that if I stepped out without a real plan, I don't have the credentials to say I can go here and make that money. And I can go here and go make that money. And I can go here and go make that money. No. They're just not handing out 80, 90, 100K jobs like that.
Right.
Especially for people without skilled without thorough skills. I'll be the first person to tell anybody it's just like I don't feel skilled enough. I don't feel skilled enough. And that's what my biggest place of contention is, that I feel like I have shortchanged myself in a lot of years trying to compensate for the fact that I need skills. I need real, true, workable skills that I could use not only to earn a living, but to feel like I earned it. Talk about that, bro. You were
There's so
at a
many.
go
Oh, go
go.
ahead.
You
I'm
got
sorry.
it. No, I was gonna say like you was at a job and then you just finally said, you know, hey, screw this, man. I'm done with this. Never went back.
Yeah, I'm out. Uh, yeah, and it was cold turkey, like just bounced. But I didn't, I didn't just up and leave and I didn't have a plan. I made sure that I had a plan in place to make sure that I was gonna coast, and I was working the plan to get me up to that point to where I felt comfortable enough to just X. So a lot of people go through life and they have this contention that you're speaking of, where they feel shortchanged, or they shortchange themselves, but they refuse to come to the realization that the short change is because of them. We held this conversation, I want to say maybe 2, 3 podcasts ago, where a lot of people are locked into the euphoria of wanting to uh do better, be in a better position, drive that dream car, be that next hot selling artist, be that next chef, be that, a lot of people are locked in the mental state of just, they're fine just having the thought of doing that, wanting to go back and finish college. Just and they're stuck in the euphoria. Like you said, you got a degree in limbo. Well, not no more, because you're actually going to finish.
Right.
So congratulations on that. But there's a lot of people that don't have that drive and that umph to just say, I'm you know what, I'm finna take this serious, and enough is enough. They just don't. They're just locked and stuck in the euphoria of one day. And for some reason, one day is the dream, and they're fine with that.
You know, and
Eternally,
but
eternally, they're probably not. Internally, they're probably not, but they're not putting forth no real movement towards making that dream come true. You know,
well, and the thing about it is that as always, a dream only becomes reality once there's the mediary is action. So
correct.
what happens is that there's a lot of dreams that I've had. Like I can't tell you how many times it's like I woke up out of my sleep and it's like I was just like I was within a couple of seconds. Because as soon as
Mhm.
I got up and I looked around, I was like, oh, it felt so real. Like it felt so
And
real.
it does. It really does. Like, dreams can feel so real, and it really drains you when you snap to or come to, and you gotta deal with reality. It really is down some, but you have the ability
To
to
change.
change that around.
Yeah, I mean, with all honesty, man, it's like I find myself in a situation currently to where when I look at my situation, it's like, bro, I'm almost 40 years old. It's like it's you didn't see it. You didn't see it coming. And it's like I'll be honest, man. It's like I'll tell everybody, man, spare me your opinions about what you think I should be thinking. I know me. I know
Mhm.
that this ain't right. I can't come to you and tell you that if you feel unaccomplished, that just because your accomplishments are higher than my accomplishments, that therefore that your accomplishment, like you don't. Some people got this thing real bad to where they try to tell people about how they need to humble themselves. And I'm like, some of y'all too damn humble. Some of y'all are so humble that y'all don't do nothing.
Humble.
Deaf to humility.
Deaf to
So
humility.
hold on.
What I'm not gonna do.
Oh crap! Hold on.
Yep.
What is that playing? What is that? Hold on. Sorry, hold on.
Whatever it is, it sounds extraordinary.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be playing right
What's
now.
going on, Brett?
QuickTime Player. Shout out to them. So I'm about to bring something up. And it might make a whole bunch of people mad. Well, it might not. I don't know. We can look up the definition of humble. And when I tell you the definition of humble, I want you to sit back and tell me, is this something good? Can you see?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Humble, having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Number 2, a low social, administrative, or political rank. And the verb, lower in dignity or importance.
Mm.
Why in the hell would you tell somebody to humble themselves?
Mm.
You
See,
need
here's
to
what I'm not going to do. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to diminish myself, dim my light, insert whatever annotation here, but I'm not going to bring myself down to your level so that you can feel comfortable because you're uncomfortable with my accomplishments. You're uncomfortable with my hustle and my drive. You're uncomfortable with my ability to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm going to do something about it. You're refusing to not do something about it. I'm not going to bring myself down to your level so you can feel good and be cool. I'm not going to do that.
Do you know how
That's
many
a you problem.
times? You know how many times I've had people trying to give me my flowers for things that they felt like I've done well, and I turned around and I would tell them, "Nah, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that accolade." And it's like people see it the way that they want to see it, and it's just like maybe in your world this is triumph. To me, it's like graduating high school with all C's. It's like, yeah, you graduated, but you ain't put forth effort to do nothing. You skated by. You literally
skated through.
So how do I celebrate a win that I didn't put forth an ounce of effort in?
You know, they don't realize that you still got 2 more grades above you. And technically, if you want to keep it a buck, you actually got 6 grade levels above you because you got B minus B, B plus, and then you got A minus A, A plus. So you're 6 grade levels behind.
I mean, not even just celebrating. That. I mean, not just that. It's just like, effort. I can't speak for women, but as a man, I know that matters a lot. Effort and competency. Like if you knew that the doctor that you were going to go see was a C+ doctor, would you feel comfortable in his care?
Mm.
If the surgeon that was going to perform a even the most routine surgery on you, where they had to actually open you up, and you found out that surgeon was the C+ surgeon, would you feel comfortable with him working on you?
Mm.
Ask yourself, realistically.
We got to bomb that. Because I ain't going to lie, I'm going to keep it a buck. I probably would not feel comfortable with that.
Do you want the C+ lawyer representing your murder case?
No. I don't. I mean, I get it. You passed the bar. I get it, but nah, man, my life on the line. I need that. I need that top tier. I need that A+.
So when you look at certain situations, like where a person went to school, what's their alma mater? Okay, you went to Yale, Harvard Law. There's a reason why these mean something. Because number one, you had to be above average to get into them. You had to be borderline excellent to get into them. You had to be connected to get into them. And most importantly, to get through it is far more rigorous than the average.
Mm-hmm.
So with that much being said, it's like, yeah, there might be a lawyer over here that came out of XYZ Clown College that could blow you out the water. The likelihood is that the people that you connected with over here at Harvard, Princeton Law, at these prestige, more than likely they have actually been the ones that tried the good cases, that have done the things that you're trying to do. And they have the judges and have the connections to put you in place to where you can get an opportunity to see the world the way that they saw it. Because you're paying those professors for their expertise. You're not paying them top dollar because of who they are or for what they are. You're paying them for who they are. Like, let's face it, it's like if I had to, like if Johnny Cochran was around and he decided to retire as a law professor, how packed do you think his classes were going to be?
Oh yeah, yeah. Booked for years.
Can't wait to get in Johnny's class. You want to hear all that slick talk. But
Mhm.
aside from that, it's something that was earned. He earned the right to be the Johnny Cochran. You saw it in real time for him to be able to say what he said and do what it is that he did to the magnitude that he did it, to gain that high profile name. So when I sit here and I look at myself, it's like, what man don't want a great name? What man don't want a great name?
I think a man that's comfortable being comfortable.
And that's something with me, is that I've had countless conversations to where it's like, you set up a game plan and it's just like, okay, let's do this. And 6 months, 7 months down the line, it's like I am drowning in mediocrity. Drowning in mediocrity. And when you're around people, not necessarily that are or aren't more or less skilled than you, that's needless. That's needless to say. It's neither here nor there. For what I do, how much skill is actually necessary? It's not. It doesn't require me to be great at anything other than dealing with people.
Mhm.
That's great. But for me, being the type of person that I am is that enough? No. And I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with because I feel like I'm drowning in mediocrity. I feel like I am due a gigantic leap forward. But at this age, I should not still be trying to figure out what it is.
And that's just something that we struggle with, man, as far as like those that are on a journey, those that are on a path, and we're light years ahead and still feel like we're not doing enough. Hustle the hardest, work the hardest, lack of sleep, back out 2 hours, 3 hours sleep, back out, back at it again, and still just feel like you're not making huge strides.
And it's like, as I was having a conversation with you the other day, it's like I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl. I'm that guy that is like, put me on a pot of coffee, I can go all night long. But in a creative space, with me working and earning my money during the hours where I am my most creative, I'm being stunted intellectually, I'm being stunted creatively, I'm being stunted in all areas of my life to where I am completely drained. I can work during the day. And that's the reason why traditionally, if I had a day job, I can focus during the day because job is easy. Job is easy. Easy. Go up there and go make the money, leave. It's easy. But the stuff that I love to do, that requires me to sit back and think and put forth some effort, I can go 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing that. But when the hardest part of my day is at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, at my peak creative hours, I'm wrecking my brain with minutia, it bothers me, bro.
Mhm.
It bothers me. It bothers me that I am obligated to be here to pay my bills at these times. It bothers me that the difficulty of getting off this shift is what it is. It bothers me that you have to go through so many leaps and bounds to do what would be considered simple in any regard. And this is it's just too much.
Mhm.
It's too much. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of my existence, but I can't get mad at anybody because I put me here. And when I'm saying this, guys, I'm not just, I throw myself out there as understanding that I am me. And being me, the way that we chose to structure components of this podcast about throwing ourselves out there. I'm not ashamed of who I am, what I am, or the mistakes that I've made. Instead, I actually embrace them quite often. And in embracing them, I'm hoping that you guys will learn in your sector of the world to embrace yours. That no, it's not easy to sit back and say, like, man, in this particular area of my life, I feel like a failure. It's not easy to say, man, I feel like I should have been a better parent, or I could have done more, I could have did. It's not easy looking at hindsight and saying, like, you know, I really dropped the ball here, or this rift of communication. You didn't have to curse her out. You didn't have to get aggressive right then. You didn't have to do what you did at that time. Like, there's no legitimate, like, it does not hurt to go back and replay the game tapes and say, I could have played that a lot better. Because in that, that's where the growth happens. I don't make excuses for my behavior. I don't make excuses for what I did or how it happened. Just living it. And in this situation, you guys are watching in real time with me expressing how it feels to be somebody who technically everything in my life is right. Family life is right. I guess career life is right. I make twice the national average for a man. Technically, I'm in a good place. Technically. But for me, this ain't okay. And you should be able to say, if you think that you should be making $1 million and living in the French Riviera and earning money off of what it is that you love to do every day, then that's what you should do. That should be the game. That should be the goal. One of the biggest problems for me is you dig yourself so deep into a hole by being reactionary and not thoroughly planning. And you just take life on as it comes. And, you know, it was some advice that I was given that it's like I regret this advice to this day. Because I feel like this is some contributing advice that got me in the place that I was, that I'm in today. And it came from one of my uncles. And it said, I only gonna deal with a problem when it becomes a problem.
That's that whole we'll cross
I'll
that
cross
bridge
that
when
bridge when I get there.
I can't stand that, bro. That is the worst piece of advice I've ever heard in my life.
hmm And I've dealt with it a lot. I've dealt with it. I've done it a lot. I've literally numbed my brain to the point of no return, allowing myself to. I get to like it's not a big issue right now. When it becomes
Yeah.
the issue, then I'll handle that issue at that time.
You know what that trains you to be? That trains you to be nonchalant. It trains you to be, everything isn't a big deal. Just floating through.
That's been a lot of my existence. And it's like, again, it's like I can be open and honest about this because there's nothing in this that I feel ashamed about. Instead, I feel as if I actually rather embrace it because I'm now numb to the fact that I'm actually quite numb to the fact that I have allowed myself to do all the things that I did. So it's like there's nowhere up. There's nowhere but up from here if it's serious.
Yeah.
If it's serious, there's nowhere but up. If it's not serious and it's just something that you're talking about, that's why I brought it to the center stage. Because the one thing I love about having a public platform is that having a public platform holds you accountable because it goes on record. So if a year from now I'm in the same space, you don't have any authority to talk to people about being extraordinary and this other stuff. Because how do you go on public record saying, hey, I feel this way. And a year from now, you still feeling this way. So I bring it to the public forum and I tell you, like, this is my expression
Mhm.
that I identify change. And through this, you guys should see the growth.
And it should be, one, that's commendable, and two, it should definitely be an inspirational story for anybody else that's feeling like they're in the same boat, are in the same boat, uh, going to do different things in their life, and don't know where to go. I mean, they can definitely turn to this particular episode and use this as a means of some type of guidance to understand that it's you, it's you. Where you're at, where your life is at, and there are those sometimes outlier circumstances to where it honestly really was out of your control. But I say a majority, you're at where you're at, I'm at where I'm at because of my actions, my choices, and that's choices that I've made and lack of choices that I've made.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. 100% agree.
you know Pieces of information that I did not seek, did not put forth the effort to try to gain, to elevate myself. That's on me. It's all on me. You know,
And one of the most important things is that I don't feel any way about it. You know, I feel like
right.
I have in taking accountability for your actions or lack thereof action. It really puts you in the mindset of really looking at things and saying to yourself, what do I want to do differently this go around? So when you start thinking about it, it's like one piece of advice that I would give is that reverse engineer your life. And what that means is that if I'm going to reverse engineer my life, go back and look at the parts of your life and put them in perspective as far as my finances, my credit, my debt, my student loans, whatever the situation is. Go to each one of those things and don't be shy. Go look at that statement and ask yourself, how much of this, how many of these classes did I take that I didn't need? How much time did I waste here, here, and here? When I was in school during this time, when I took out that student loan, where was I at in that place? Most importantly is that don't make excuses for yourself. Be honest. Kick yourself in the ass when necessary. Yeah,
You
I
see, but
blew.
then that destroys the euphoria.
Yeah, that's that. But that's the point. It's because when you destroy the euphoria, then you get to a real outcome, and with a real
Now you're
outcome,
talking about accountability. Now I got to work through that.
yeah, man, taking accountability for one's own actions is a bitter pill to swallow. But guess what? It's what
Hmm.
it's what is what growth happens. So for me, that's where the story begins. Is going back and looking at those bank statements and saying, okay, here's where I made the mistakes at. Here's where I continue to do it. I've had 7 bowls of Chipotle this month. Each one of those bowls of Chipotle plus the chips, I probably spent about $15 in Chipotle, $20 in Chipotle because I bought it for me and the kid instead of cooking. So just in Chipotle, I already had 2 gourmet meals at a fine restaurant with drinks. Just in
Mm.
Chipotle. That's not talking about what I paid for Uber Eats because I didn't feel like packing up a lunch. So when you sit there and you look like, man, why is money so tight? Why is this like this? Why is this like that? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, you spent $400, $500 in unaccounted for money in fast food.
Yeah. Fast food, unnecessary entertainment, you know, buying all these $20 bags,
Subscription
fill up the
services
plane.
that you're not even using, gym
Yeah.
memberships that you're not even going to.
Hmm.
The subscription model, I really would like to know if there's a stat out there for how much dead money that the HBO Maxes and the Netflix and people like that are getting from people who don't utilize the service.
Let's see if it is.
Just dead accounts that people are not even coming to, that they just getting hand over fist because people are too busy and forgot that they had that subscription.
Forgot.
You know, there was tools that I had bought for Jada to use for school. And those tools that I had bought, right, I mean, that was a subscription service on them. I had to quickly get rid of those subscription services because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm getting charged almost $60 a month for those. And I got hit like 2 months in a row for something that she wouldn't even use no more.
Okay, so I wasn't able to find anything pertaining to like the dead money, basically
It was
people
part of their
getting.
proprietary. They're not going to put that out there.
Yeah, so but what I can find, and this is according to USA Today, so this is a reputable uh, uh, article.
Okay.
So it's saying that on average, people are spending $219 a month on subscription services. So now let's do the big math. 219. People are spending $2,600 a year in subscription fees. That's where your car down payment, that's where your car payment is at. That's where saving towards your down payment on your house is at. That's where your 1 or 2 months of rent is at in subscription fees.
You're giving away a whole free month a year in subscription services.
In subscription services.
You know, and again, that's just subscription service. That's not, you know, as I say, the big one is food, stuff like vending machines, little small stuff that you don't even think about.
What? And have you and if anybody that is an advocate vending machine user, you know, the prices of a pop in a vending machine is like $3 now. The price of a bag of chips is like $2.50, $2.85 now. So I mean, the money is just clocking. The money's just burning. And you don't even realize it.
I mean, at the end of the day, one of the biggest issues that I have.
Okay.
Go.
My bad. Okay, so according to CNBC, 42% of all subscription users have forgotten that they had the subscription.
Hold on, repeat that again. Hold on, because you got to drop a bomb for yourself on that.
Dude, I was determined to try to find this. Okay.
No, just go do this. Say that again, man. Say that again.
Okay, according to CNBC, another viable source.
The viable source when it comes down to financial education.
Yes. It says 42% of people have forgotten about subscription services. 42%.
So let's just say if we use the number 100 as our marker, that 42 people out of every 100 people in the United States forget that they're paying monthly services.
Hmm.
You know, and the beauty is like with the trial memberships or whatever, like 7-day trial memberships. This just happened to me with Dropbox, remember? When it was just
Yeah.
like, I missed that 7-day window. So I was like, oh, well, may as well
And
keep
then
it.
it was like, oh, well, it is what it is. Yeah.
It already got me for a month, so I may as well keep it. You know, it's funny is that now that you got an Apple phone, we don't need Dropbox anymore.
Hmm.
So I just gave them a free month for nothing. Matter of fact,
There's a lot of information in here. I'm actually finna link this article. I'm finna link this article, y'all, because not only is it giving us like percentages, it's breaking down charts per dollar category. 24% less than $25 subscription fee, $25 to $99, 22%, 100 to 199, 30%. Like, dude, it's so much information in this article. Then they even breaking down the type from internet to prime to streaming to gaming. Just yeah, I got y'all. I'm finna drop it.
matter of fact, since we was on here, I'm going up ahead of going get rid of his Dropbox. You know, like I'm gonna sit here and keep paying for this for no reason. I got 3 terabytes, and I'm using.
This article was based on a study that was done just last year. Okay. So at that time that they did the study last year, the average spend was $133 more than what they anticipated of what it was going to be. So imagine what it is now, because with all this even more lockdown, or at that time, lockdown and all that, I mean, I could see why it rose. But then with the workforce not picking back up the way that it was supposed to, we're still like in a slowed down, rate of people re-entering in the workforce. We still got these high numbers, and they're probably even higher now if we was to do a survey this year.
Yep, that's it.
According to, and it even puts in stats from another reliable source, Statista or Statista.
That's one of the best statistic programs out.
Yeah, they said on average, millenniums have 17 subscriptions running.
Hold on, check right there in the chat. And say in 2022, Starbucks alone had over 181 million in unused gift card funds and have the ability to borrow against those funds. Help.
Yeah, so
I'm about to say, I knew a bomb was coming.
so for those of you that don't know, and that's a whole nother conversation, and I'm probably gonna make that my next Money Mondays, but gift cards is a bank for businesses. That is a bank. That is printing free money. And businesses get filthy rich off gift cards. Filthy rich. Yes, dog. Yes. So I'll definitely talk about that. Appreciate that, Britt.
That was excellent. That's an excellent add-on. Thank you so much for that. I mean, in essence, it's just like when you sit here and you look at how all these things tie in and all the correlations, man. It's just It's kind of crazy the type of stuff that we find ourselves in, bro. It's just like you sit here and you look at it. I know it kind of segued off of the point that we was at, but realistically, when you start really,
It all correlates.
I mean, it all correlates. It all correlates. And the
Mhm.
thing about it is that you sit here and you think about it, it's all tied to behavior, unchecked behavior,
Mhm.
unchecked spending behavior, unchecked emotional behavior, allowing yourself to feel, oh, I need, like, why do I need this chain? When I went and bought this for whatever I paid for it, like, yeah, that's a handsome devil right there. But what purpose does it really bring to my life? What level of fulfillment? Maybe one day for investment purpose or something like that. But why? What's the point? It's not necessary. It's not an indication. Oh, he got a big chain. He must be a multimillionaire. Like what? What's the point? But we have allowed ourselves to be grounded and rooted into this point, and everybody is susceptible to their own demon. And for some of us, it's just the look and the appeal. Those of us who came up in the rapper generation, the look, the visual. You know what I'm saying? Like you remember when people used to wear those like those like the FUBU emblems and stuff around their neck, or little cash money charms or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just like you want to
Like you
feel
had so
connected.
much.
I remember when somebody had the little no limit chain or whatever. Like you want to feel
Mhm.
connected to this thing so bad that you are willing to spend money on it. Like, oh God, I'm gonna tell the story. 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 So this is many moons ago. I was dating this young lady who was considerably older than me. And I put that out there because it ties and correlates into the story. But we all were going to go hang out. It was her daughter's sister's birthday, and they shared the same father but not the same mother. So we go out to Indiana to go and or Calumet City or somewhere like right on the border of Indiana, and we go hang out. And the ex-husband is there and so forth. We all just go out to go hang out and chill. So now we all hanging out in the kitchen or whatever. Like, everybody got their drinks in their hand and stuff like that. We go, me and him, we drive to the liquor store, go grab some Ciroc. Like, he's a huge Ciroc dude. So we get back to the house. It's like, it's just, guys over here, the ladies are in the other room. So it's like we all just kind of powwowing. So as we sitting here, my man say, all I wear is Sean John. All I drink is Ciroc. Like I love Diddy so much. Like I admire what he do. I want to be like him so much that all I wear is his stuff. All I do is, and I'm sitting there I'm listening to this man who was quite beyond my years. And I'm listening to him say that you are so enamored with this figure, or how Wendy Williams used to say, the friend in her head. You are so enamored with this figure of what his status means to you that you take all of your hard-earned money to ultimately make him richer and you poorer to feel some level of connection with him. Now, mind you, I couldn't have been no older than about 22 years old, and I found that odd.
Mhm.
He had to have been my age now, maybe between 35 and 39. And he was saying that then, 17 years, no, sorry, I'm aging myself a little high, about 15 years ago. And I'm sitting in his living room and I'm listening like, you serious about that? You meant that. You can see the passion coming off of him that as he holding his cup, he really feel like in his own world, he's like a little Diddy.
Mm.
And it's like the way that we get consumed into these ideas of what things mean to us. And again, going back to that concept of the dream, the euphoria.
Mhm.
The euphoria is that I'm not going to do the work to become Diddy, but instead I'm going. So I want to be known as the guy. I do everything around. Like I just want to be known as the guy that always got the Ciroc. I want to be known as the guy. I want to go down as infamy. I want to go down in infamy as the dude who always, when he step on the block, he gonna have Sean John on.
I mean, that's no different than, you know what I'm saying? I want a Lexus so bad. I got to dream about that Lexus. Sitting in them leather seats. But not gonna put the work in to go get one, so I'll name my daughter Alexis. It's that same concept.
Meanwhile, driving a Chevy Cavalier.
That's not a smite on the name. I'm just saying.
No, hey. In all defense, I know somebody who middle name is Mercedes, and the OG had a Mercedes.
I do too.
I do too. I gotta defend that. I gotta defend that because I do know.
I know a middle name Mercedes, and I know a first name Mercedes. Yes.
I do know somebody who they in the pocket. It's like not only can I name you one, but I can afford to buy one. So I was like, yeah. All right. So in some cases, not all, not all, right?
Oh man.
I mean, in essence, man, it's like to recap, guys. With all seriousness, it's like this is a call to action. And I don't know what things y'all deal with in y'all own personal lives and y'all circles that y'all talk to in the confidence. And, again, thank you guys for tuning in and checking us out for this duration of time. But I don't know what you guys talk about amongst the loved ones that y'all with. But if you feel that you could be doing more, you should be doing more. Like, do not allow yourself to get swept up. Like I tell anybody, one of my biggest fears in the world is dying knowing that the only thing that y'all gonna be able to say about everything, my entire life, all my years, whether I die at 100, is that he died as the man that spent 100 years almost doing. The significance of his life is that he always almost everything. That's a frightening thing for me because of the fact that
man, that's scary. That is a scary thought, bro.
You think about your kids, you think about your grandchildren, you think about the legacy that you leave behind. Like, what can you leave them? Like, first and foremost, if all I could leave you is money, I failed you. I personally feel that there's a couple of things that I have failed at. Like, number one,
wholeheartedly agree with that.
Number one, if all I could leave you is money, like there's no property, there's no land, there's no things of any type of value. Like, forget all the like, you raise your children to be certain types of people in society. That's fine. But as far as actual assets that they can do something with, and an education on how to leverage those assets, if I die without giving you those, I failed you as a parent. That's me. That might not be how y'all feel. I'm not asking y'all opinion. I'm telling y'all what it means to me. Number two, if you got to put a GoFundMe together to bury me, or if I got to put a GoFundMe together to bury you, I have failed as a parent.
Dog, I'm finna break my button.
Number three, if I worked myself to the point to where I was not able to cultivate meaningful relationships with the people that I love, I failed you.
Yeah.
Because I taught you that work was more important than family. Even if that's not what I said, that's what I did. That's what my actions showed you.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing about hard work, and there's another thing about smart work. And if you don't learn how to leverage your work so that you can make time for what really matters, which is your family, you're failing them. I cannot get away with telling you that I'm away from you for 10, 12 hours a day for your benefit. That's like saying that I beat the hell out you, but it's to make sure that The police don't beat the hell out you out there. I keep you in check in here, so they ain't got to keep you in check out there. How about just raising them properly and keeping your hands off of them?
Mm.
How about not teaching somebody that the barrier that needs to happen in order to keep you controlled, that I have to subdue you physically? So
Shout out. Let me hit the punch.
you got to get a
We
skippity pat button.
we knocking out the abusers, bro.
You got to get a skippity pat button.
What?
Skippity pat. No, but there's a few different areas to where when I really sit here and I look at it and I ask myself, especially with a 14-year-old, to where it's just like you're developing your own personality. You have your own friends, your own situations. It's like, am I confident in the person that I'm sending out here into the world every day? You know, can you speak well? Can you conduct yourself properly? Is your hygiene up to par? Are you clean? Like, you know, if I send you to somebody's house, are you going to somebody's house and just leaving crap all over the place and representing yourself poorly over there? It's like, I have to be conscious of the individuals that I'm sending out into the world. Like, what have I given them? If I'm not confident in what I've given you, which again, can never be overconfident, because we are forever students and forever teachers. Even as parents, sometimes we got to reach out to our parents for advice on situations.
Mhm.
And as children, they're gonna be your children until whenever. Even after you die, oh, that's Midas' little girl.
You
Don't
still
matter. That's
take care of them too, even in death. You still got to take care of your babies.
yeah.
Period.
It don't change. So the things that I'm looking at as far as the security is concerned, I'm less concerned about the money as I am the availability. Because as you go through certain things, there's certain milestones and certain situations happen, I need to be available. I need to be able to be in a situation where I don't have to ask somebody for permission to be at my daughter's game or to be at a. I don't care if she's playing Dungeons and Dragons. If she want me there, I need to be there.
Yeah.
I don't like when I have to. It does not make me feel good as a man to say, "Hey, let me go talk to my boss and see if I can get this time off to go and spend time with the people that I'm going to work to take care of in the first place." It's crazy to me. And again, the business got to run, things got to happen and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's like if you can go give 8, 10, 12 hours to them, then you might want to reconsider. Like if this type of thing over here is that important to you, you might need to reconsider some things. And also, I'm going to say something too. And after that, I'm going to let this go. A lot of older people consider entrepreneurship as an option because they failed to do right when they were younger.
One more time.
A lot of older people, and when I say older, I mean 30s and up, consider entrepreneurship as a viable option because they made the mistakes not utilizing their time wisely when they were younger. They went to school for useless fields, or they didn't finish school. They didn't save money. They had children too early. They got into meaningless relationships. They got married before they were ready. They did every statistical thing that they could possibly do. Insert self here. It's not saying that there's one size fits all, but insert pockets. And when you look at it based on a couple of different things, there's two main contributing factors. Either A, the parents watched but never taught, and B, you thought that you were smarter than everybody before you.
Yeah. More than likely the latter.
Not necessarily, because technically even a deadbeat parent is watching but never speak because they're not qualified to. But they don't.
You know what, Mike? I don't. Come on, man. Come on, man. Dude, we burnt up. Come on, man.
Hey man, go
Them
ahead.
ribs are done, dog. Them
I,
ribs,
the ribs
they
done.
spicy.
And look, we're gonna get into that next time. We're gonna say that for Friday. We're gonna talk about these parents and talk about our generation and why we make so many knee jerk decisions and think that we want to be these type of people because we are trying to respond to trauma and screw ups.
Yeah.
But go ahead and
You
close
know,
us out, might as well.
especially on the ladies' side, man. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they've done some things, trauma screw ups, and now they're pushing this whole ideology that you don't need to put no trust in them. Again, Friday's topic.
It's on both sides. I can't delegate blame on one specific side, but for sure, I want to delve into this is how I dealt with my trauma, and a lot of times our trauma is dealt with through sexual conquest and through finding other superficial ways of trying to prove our masculinity and manhood, populating the earth with no real means of taking care of the children and whatever else have you. So we both sides have the parts that they play. But again, we'll get that later. Go ahead and close us out,
Mhm.
Mike.
Man, so I appreciate y'all tuning in today, man. Make sure y'all hit us up on the YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell. I think we still rocking 345 strong. Last time I checked. So I appreciate all 345 of y'all. Um, big announcement. Unless Mike wants to make that announcement, yes or no.
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna hold off on that then. All right. So also make sure y'all hit us in the Facebook group where you can contact us directly. Okay, you can tap in with us directly. All right, so you can talk with us about ideas, concepts, mental health, blah blah blah. Man, we got you. Extraordinary Men Facebook group got you. Tap in with us, reach out to us directly, and we would love to hear your story and work through it. And a lot of times we bring it right here to the podcast and have an open forum discussion about it as well. So
So
that's all I got, man.
so as he stated to you guys, we humbly thank you guys for and humbly, devaluing our own importance. We thank you guys. We thank you guys for taking time out of y'all day because obviously you could have been doing anything else, but you guys came to kick it with us. So we definitely appreciate y'all coming to kick it with us. Please stay tuned for future episodes, Money Mondays with Midas. And then I also got something else coming on the way that I've been brewing up a little bit of. So I'll get with you guys about that probably on the Friday show. And we got an announcement, as he stated, but we're going to wait till the Friday show for that. So make sure you tune into the Extraordinary
Yes.
Men podcast. My name is Phil Jones. Mike Jones, have you guys know me personally or professionally? And I'm the host of the Extraordinary Man podcast. So you guys know this gentleman who was on the side of me, but now he's below me. But he's not below me because he's below me. He's below me because of a system that was set up to oppress him and put him in a place that he don't belong to be at.
They oppressed me.
But his positioning on the screen is not his position of importance when it comes down to what his value is and what he brings to the population. State your name.
I am Midas. Make sure you put a king in front of that. Let's go. And you know what? We got to put a sauce in the ribs coming soon. Little sound bite. We keep talking about
No,
it.
actually, I'll record it. I'll record it. I just got to send it over to you.
Bet I got to throw it in the soundboard. And then for the rest of y'all that's lazy and you ain't trying to get up off your butt and move, I'm finna bucket your feet. I'm shooting at your feet. I need you to get up and move and go do something. Go do something. Let's go.
Well, it's kind of late for some of y'all. So go to bed. Go to bed. Go sleep. Let's go to bed. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in with us, man. Have a good night.